So The Walking Dead Season 10 Episode 3 titled Ghosts premiered last night. Now if you haven't seen it, it's going to be a spoiler review for the episode. So if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, don't watch this review. But if you have seen it and you want to hear someone's thoughts on it, stay tuned. So let's talk about the episode. So the episode kicks off. We're going to get a camera going through Alexandria and we see the windmill, which I absolutely love because I love that windmill. Just the fact that they actually built it, that isn't actual, like that's not like CGI or anything, that's actually there. I love it. I love how just that kind of symbolizes Alexandria at this point. Like as far as I know from season 9, that was their logo, was the huge windmill, and I absolutely love it. I want to see more if I want to see inside of it and see what it's like, but I imagine we will at some point. Like I know in the comics we seen that Olivia wasn't there built making bread. I kind of hope we get to see more of that. But then after that we see a few small herds coming in. Well, they're probably about 20-30 people, but they're coming from every direction, and the people are getting tired, and I think it's going to 2.5 days, and they're just killing them, and they just keep coming. So they're all panicked, like, what is this? And then they get to a stage where they kill them, and then there's just one stand left there, and it was Gamma, and she's saying, meet her at the border at whenever you're ready, or it's not whenever you're ready, I think like such and such a time. So then she goes, and they go, then she goes, leave your weapons. So they leave their weapons on the floor when they get there. And then after this, they kind of have a town meeting about what they should do, and like, should they go? And everyone's like, oh no, like everyone who's not in the committee is like, oh yeah, we should go there, we should kill them and put their heads in the pikes and see how they like it. And then woman stands up and screams, justice for the highwayman. And I'm kind of surprised. I thought they were dead. I thought it was just the three lads. I know there wasn't three, but I thought they were just left. I didn't know they actually moved into Alexandria, which is kind of cool that they're still there. But I think the highwaymen, and there was women there too, I thought, okay. So I didn't think she was actually a highwayman. I just assumed she was just kind of some background character from Alexandria. But she wasn't. But they have this whole talk, and then Michonne's like, Daryl, by the way, how many walkers? And he goes, tens of thousands. And she goes, what? And Michonne goes, what's your plan to get rid of them? And she goes, I don't know. And she goes, anyone? And then she goes, no. And Michonne, she's so snarky. As well, you understand, like, knowing that, I don't think they've ever said it in the show, but in the comics she's a lawyer, and you can kind of see it in the scene that yeah, she was a lawyer beforehand, which I liked. They brought a bit more of the comics or her backstory into it, which is episode, like, I know you wouldn't kind of get that unless you did read the comics, but I just love seeing Michonne. I'm kind of disappointed that she is going this season, but she says that and they go, oh, we don't have a plan. So then she divides, goes, okay, you just go here, everyone goes to such and such a way to get rid of all the walker herds, just kind of kill them. And then it was Michonne, Carol, and Daryl, and then a few background characters. They went to the border to meet with Alpha. And then when they get to the border, they're talking to Alpha. She says that you crossed 3 times my border. And I was thinking, 3 times? When was 3 times? That I was thinking 3 times that she would know about. And she goes, when the fire, and they were all saying like, oh, we had to go. It was either burn down your land. She goes, well, fire burns. And he goes, well, we have a community right there that would have burned it down anyway, so I wasn't gonna let that happen. And then she goes, also during the storm. I'm like, Jesus, she knows about the storm. I did not think she would have known about that. And also she goes, when you cross that bridge with the one-armed man, and I'm like, oh Jesus, she knows about that too. Like, and then she goes, I am everywhere. And then she goes, there will be bloodshed, you'll have to kill someone. Like, okay, there's a few background characters here. Okay, I imagine they're going to kill one of the background characters. But then she says, we're going to take some of your land. So they're going to pick up the pikes, and they're going to move them back a bit to take some of her land because of what happened. And then Carol's like, no way, that's not happening. That's some of our hunting land. And then Daryl stops her talking, and she goes, no, finish what you're going to say, Alpha says. And then Carol goes, it's bullshit. And then they're making firm eye contact, like Carol is not taking any of her shit. And Alpha goes, it's okay, I'll let you go once that woman looks at my shoes. And then she starts talking, and then Alpha mentions Henry, and Carol loses it. She takes out her gun from her back pocket and shoots at her, but Daryl knocks her at the right time, so shoots the ground instead. And then Alpha's like, I'll give it a pass, mother to mother. And then they leave, and I was like, I knew Carol was not going to kill Alpha at that point, but I didn't know how she was, because I knew she was face to face with her with a gun, she was going to shoot. So I was wondering how that was not going to happen. I thought it was going to be a whisper, but the fact that Daryl did it, I think that's going to cause a lot of tension now between Daryl and Carol. And while this is all happening, Aaron and Negan are out killing walkers, which I thought was probably my favourite part of the episode, not only because Negan, but I'm also a very big fan of Aaron. But they were talking, and they're kind of arguing a lot, and Aaron does not want Negan there at all. But he gives him, I think it was a stick to kill walkers, and Negan picks up a crossbow. He's like, leave it now, you're not using that. And they're talking, and then Negan goes, what I did back then, I had to do. And then Aaron, you can see the hatred in his eyes. He's talking, he goes, oh, so the love of my life has to die. And he goes on, and Negan says something like, if you don't take care of the things you love in this world, it's your own fault if you lose it. And he's getting angrier, and he goes, so it's your fault that your wife hated you, and that's so it's your fault that she's dead. And then that's the point where Negan, you can see he's getting annoyed too. And I thought it was gonna be a fist fight, but then two walkers come up behind, and Negan goes, "Oh yeah, by the way," and she turns around and kills him. But there was some kind of weird. I think Negan was saying it was some kind of like a weed plant or something like that that got in his eyes that blinded him, but it didn't permanently blind him. I was thinking, geez, are we getting another character that's gonna be blinded? But no, he goes, it's temporary as long as you wash it out. So you wash it out his eyes, of course. And then there's back and forth, and then they go back to some kind of. Well, Negan goes off, and Aaron chases him, and they go into some hut, and then Aaron can't see, and then two walks him, and he's almost close to death, but Negan saves him. So then they hang out in the camp, that like a little hut for the night, and that's the kind of the last we see of them. But then when it goes back to our main group of like Carol, Daryl, and Michonne, they go back to some place. I don't really know. I was under the impression that it was the place from episode 14 of last season's Scars. I thought it was the place that Daryl and Michonne got their burnt X in their back, just looking at the building. I'm not sure. I think it is. But they're in there, and Carol, she's taking these pills, she can't sleep, and she picks up a book, and she's looking at it. And I thought this was really cool, because I didn't expect it. She's hallucinating, and it's her holding dinner out for, I think it was Henry, Sophia, Mika, Lizzie, and Sam. I can't tell if there's someone beside her. I can't really remember. I don't know. It would be cool if it was Ed, but I actually do not remember. I can't tell you. But I thought that whole thing with that scene was really cool, because I heard rumors that Sophia and all them will be in this episode. But I'm thinking, Sophia, Lizzie, and Mika, they do look a lot older than they were when they were on the show. What's going to happen there? But I think this way of having the photo was probably the best way of having it. But we do actually get to see Henry in it, and we see Henry in this episode a lot more than I thought. Like, we see him behind something, he's got his neck all cut here, and he's calling for mom, mom, mom. And then we see another scene later on when Carol is hallucinating. It's like a life before the apocalypse, what her dream life would have been. And I don't know if she's married to Daryl. I get the impression that they are dating in this hallucination, but they're dating or married, and then Henry's sitting at the kitchen table while Daryl's cooking. I think that would have been her perfect life before the apocalypse. Carol's then taking watch throughout this kind of building they're in, and she walks into some room, and she gets caught in this trap. She gets left upside down, she's dangling, and a whisperer comes up to you. But because of Carol's all these hallucinations, you don't actually know if it's real or not. And then the whisperer walks away, and a shit ton of walkers come in, and Carol's shooting her gun around, and I thought she missed one, right? She missed a bullet. But then it goes to the end of the episode, and we see the whisperer dead in the ground with a bullet in his chest, so you know the whisperer was actually there. But before we find out that big reveal, we see Carol, she kills like three walkers while she's upside down. She cuts the rope down, and she kills them all, and then everyone comes in. But she was screaming for Daryl to come and rescue her, but he didn't hear her. And then as soon as everyone comes in, she's dead. But she falls. I can't actually remember how, but she falls and she gets something through her side here. And then I don't know. And then they take her back to Alexandria, and Dante and Sadiq are trying to take it out. But then Sadiq is starting to get like post-traumatic stress, and he's starting to remember everything. When he sees Spike, he starts seeing Alpha and the whispers, and he panics. So Dante's like, you know what? I'll do it. You just do whatever he said to Dante to do. And then we see later on Dante and Sadiq are sitting down talking, and Sadiq is like, oh, he's just saying how he's kind of pretend like he's okay, but then Dante's like, no, I was in the war, I had what you had, and I've come out on top. See how it's not easy to come back out, but it is doable. You can come back from that. And they have a nice moment, and then we go to see Rosita and Eugene. They're talking, and Rosita's talking, and she gets very annoyed at Eugene, because Eugene is kind of talking about the possible relationship between them, two of them. And then she gets really annoyed, and then Eugene kind of gets annoyed at himself, like, our entire friendship is based on me having the idea that one day we can get together. And he goes, what kind of friendship is that? And he kind of leaves, and that was the end of that. And I'm looking forward to seeing it more of that, because I do think they are going to end up together, just because I don't buy Rosita with Gabriel whatsoever, and Eugene and Rosita are together in the comics. I know Stephanie's going to come in probably next season, but I just want to see Rosita and Eugene together, just for a small bit. I don't want a lot of it, just a small tiny piece of them. Overall, I really, really enjoyed this episode. It's by far the best of the season, but that's not to say that this season has been bad so far. The first two episodes were they're very good, very enjoyable. It's just this episode was actually a brilliant episode. I'm really looking forward to next week's episode. I haven't watched the trailer, so I don't know what's to come. But of course, I'm obviously going to watch it because it's The Walking Dead. It's my favourite show. But episode 4, I am very much anticipating, especially after seeing this episode. And as well, if you want to see my episode 4 review, click that subscribe button so you can see it, as well as going back and watch my episode 1 and 2 reviews of the season. And as well, if you want to, for some odd reason, I have an entire season of Fear the Walking Dead season 5 there to watch. So if you want to click subscribe so you can see all that kind of stuff. And before I go, I just want to say, thanks for watching.